The first thing you notice is vibration. You do not have ears, but you feel the rhythmic percussion of fluid against your exterior. You are a single, bounded unit of life, held together by a tension so precise that the world feels like a series of collisions. Molecules of sugar and salt bounce against your surface. Some are rebuffed, while others are pulled through specialized gates to be dismantled for energy. There is no up or down here, only gradients. You move by instinct, rotating long, whip-like filaments that propel you toward the scent of a meal. But beneath the familiar drift of nutrients, there is a faint metallic sharpness, a chemical signature that feels like a shadow stretching across the microscopic horizon. Your world is defined by your boundary. You possess a rigid, mesh-like wall that prevents the internal pressure of your life from bursting outward. Inside, a frantic factory of proteins is constantly building, weaving new strands of armor, copying your central blueprint, and maintaining the delicate balance of ions. You possess tiny molecular turbines, efflux pumps, that are currently working at a steady pace. They catch anything that shouldn't be inside you and spit it back into the void. It is a constant energetic tax, but it is the price of remaining distinct from the chaos. The sharpness in the water is growing. Tiny, jagged molecules are beginning to bump against your gates. They don't look like food. They look like keys designed to jam your locks. You are not alone in the drift. You are surrounded by millions of others, a dense biofilm clinging to a warm, pulsing surface. You brush against a neighbor, and in the contact, a small loop of information, a plasmid, crosses the gap between your membranes. You absorb it. Suddenly, your internal factory has a new set of instructions. It describes a way to reshape the very pumps you've been using. The environment is darkening now. The familiar signals of your kin are fading, replaced by the scream of lysing cells, the chemical signature of membranes rupturing and internal contents spilling into the current. Then the tide turns. A wave of molecules, far more concentrated than before, saturates the fluid. They do not hunt you. They simply exist in such numbers that they inevitably find the proteins responsible for building your cell wall. They latch on. They mimic the building blocks of your armor, but once they bind, they never let go. Your construction crew is paralyzed. As you attempt to grow and divide, the gaps in your wall remain open. The internal pressure that defines you is now your greatest threat. You are beginning to swell. The structural integrity of your entire existence is failing. But the loop of information you received earlier activates. You begin to churn out a new enzyme, a molecular pair of scissors. These enzymes seek out the invaders already bound to your machinery and snip their core rings, rendering them useless. It is an exhausting, desperate defense. For every invader you neutralize, 10 more take its place. You redirect all your energy from movement and growth into this single act of chemical sabotage. Around you, the colony has vanished. The vibrant city of microbes has been replaced by a ghost town of empty husks and drifting debris. You are one of the few left standing, a solitary fortress in a sterilized wasteland. The pressure stabilizes. The flood of inhibitors begins to recede, washed away by the larger currents of the host. You are scarred, your internal stores of energy nearly depleted, but your blueprint remains intact. In fact, it is stronger. The instructions for the scissors are now a permanent part of your legacy. You begin the process of replication. You draw in the debris of those who did not survive. using their remains to build the next generation. When you divide, your offspring will not have to learn this defense. They will be born with it. You are the beginning of a lineage that the world will find much harder to break. You are a bacterium resisting antibiotics.